Y'all, let's talk about how since Triple H has taken Vince McMahon's position, he has completely turned Roman Reigns into a jobber. Roman Reigns lost his championship to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. And then we got this rivalry between Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa basically felt like when Roman lost that title that he turned his back on the family. So he decided to take Roman's Ulafala and, he took it upon himself to become the tribal chief. So then we had the new bloodline, which was Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tongaloa. And then we got the OG bloodline, which is Roman teaming back up with the Usos, Jimmy Uso and Jay Uso, right? So for a majority of last year, we seen Roman Reigns just absolutely get his ass whooped by Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. And it got to the point where I actually was okay with having Solo Sikoa as the tribal chief. Because, Roman Reigns, he's been doing this tribal chief character for a long time to the point where, I felt like it was getting played out. And Solo Sikoa was growing on me, man. Like, Solo Sikoa is very entertaining. He's hilarious. The facial expressions that he makes when he's doing his promos is good. Like, let's be honest, guys. Like, can you imagine if Solo Sikoa was the world heavyweight champion instead of Jey Uso? Like, other than Jey Uso's entrance and his yeet gimmick, there's nothing that Jey Uso does better than Solo Sikoa. Nothing. Solo Sikoa is better on the mic. He gives better promos. He has a better finishing move. Obviously he's doing Umaga's move, but he has the better finishing move. And, I think he's the better in-ring wrestler. I think Solo Sikoa is built more to be a champion than Jey Uso. We just saw on Monday Night Raw this week, Jey Uso just froze up while he was doing his promo against Gunther. The man literally forgot his words and didn't know what to say. And then he just said yeet and walked out the ring. Like, we gotta be honest. We gotta start having honest conversations about Jey Uso. But let's stay focused on this video about Roman Reigns, right? So I feel like Roman Reigns' tribal chief gimmick got played out. And, I honestly wanted Solo Sikoa to remain the tribal chief so Roman Reigns can just get a new gimmick and just, bring something new to the table. But instead, they had the match at Crown Jewel where the new bloodline, they beat the OG bloodline. And then we had Survivor Series where CM Punk teamed up with the OG bloodline and they defeated the new bloodline. Bronson Reed teamed up with the new bloodline. Then we had Tribal Combat where Roman Reigns beat Solo Sikoa. Then we had and that was on the debut of Raw and Netflix, where Roman Reigns basically won his Ulafala back. The Rock came out and put the Ulafala back on Roman's neck. Now, see, this is where Triple H drops the ball, right? And this is why so many people have been so critical of Triple H as a booker. Why didn't Triple H have The Rock turn on Roman? Because that's what we were supposed to get at WrestleMania 40. We were supposed to get The Rock versus Roman Reigns, which would have been a huge match. But unfortunately, the fans didn't want that for a number of reasons. Obviously, because they wanted Cody Rhodes to finish his story and make Dusty Rhodes proud and become the champion. And also because The Rock is not a full-time wrestler anymore, right? He's the highest paid actor in the world. And a lot of fans, they have no interest in even seeing The Rock compete for a championship because they already know that he's not going to show up on a consistent basis. Like The Rock, who's in his mid-50s, he's not going to stop his acting career to be a full-time wrestler and to hold a championship. So the fans, they pretty much at that point in time, they just got over The Rock. But when you see the build-up between Roman and Cody, right? The fans started to, turn back around and appreciate The Rock because The Rock was giving some killer promos. Like he's the real reason why everybody turned into WrestleMania 40, if we're being honest. It was because of The Rock. The Rock was showing up every week. He was on Raw, he was on SmackDown, he was going on NXT. And, it kind of made you want to see The Rock versus Cody. And that's what The Rock was pretty much doing. The Rock was pretty much making it seem like, whoever won that belt, whether it was Roman or Cody, The Rock was going to face him, right? So, Cody ends up winning. Then he got the Roman and Solo thing. And then you have a point where you could set up the WrestleMania 41 match between Roman and The Rock. And instead of doing that, Triple H decides to have a triple threat match between Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. And all of this is because of Paul Heyman, right? Like, first Paul Heyman is Roman Reigns' wise man. Then we find out that Paul Heyman owes CM Punk a favor. And then, Seth Rollins pretty much, protects Paul Heyman from Roman and CM Punk, and then he switches up on both of them, and Seth Rollins ends up beating CM Punk and Roman Reigns. And I just think that that whole storyline to me was just garbage, right? Like, who gives a flying fuck about who Paul Heyman, who's gonna be Paul Heyman's, butt buddy? You understand what I'm saying? Like, we seen, like, at this point, Paul Heyman is just jumping from dick to dick to dick. First you was with Brock Lesnar, then you with Roman, then you went to CM Punk, and now you with Seth Rollins. So at this point, Paul Heyman is just, he's a OnlyFans model at this point, bruh. You understand what I'm saying? Like, Paul Heyman is just jumping from dick to dick to dick to dick. And let's be honest, man, in 2025, who really gives a fuck about Paul Heyman? Like, why can't Paul Heyman just go play the Penguin in the Batman movie or some shit? I don't give a flying fuck who Paul Heyman wants to be butt buddies with. I don't give a damn. I don't. Me personally, bruh, I don't give a damn who the fuck Paul Heyman is deciding to stand by. I don't give a damn, bruh. Because Paul Heyman, at the end of the day, he ain't no wrestler. He's overweight. He got about 30 pounds sitting under his neck. I don't give a damn who's wise. I don't give a fuck who's going to be with the wise man. I don't give a damn. Right? So now you got a situation where Roman Reigns, he's not showing up on Raw. He's not consistently showing up on PLEs. The last time we saw Roman Reigns is when he got speared by Braun Breaker because Seth Rollins has decided to team up and form a team with Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and most recently, Bronson Reed has joined Seth Rollins with Paul Heyman. And Roman Reigns is nowhere to be found now, right? We don't know what's going on, Roman Reigns, right? They're saying he's going to be at Money in the Bank. I don't know. But at this point in time, man, we got to be honest, y'all. Roman Reigns at this point in his career is a jobber. And he most recently did an interview where he said that he's planning on retiring in the next 2 years. And if Roman Reigns is really going to retire in the next 2 years, and, he pretty much indicated that he's going to go into acting, I would like to see Roman Reigns go out as champion. Honestly, man, I know he has leukemia, and I know that that's a part of the reason why he's not showing up on a regular basis anymore. But I mean, we should at least be able to get Roman Reigns to consistently show up on every PLE. And damn, can we at least get Roman Reigns on Raw twice a month? I mean, goddamn. There's 30 days in a month. You telling me that Roman Reigns can't show up twice a month on Raw and just show up at every PLE? Whether it's a Money in the Bank, a Saturday Night Main Event, why can't we get Roman on every PLE? Because he's the face of the WWE. That's a part of the reason why the viewership on Raw and SmackDown is at an all-time low. Because your biggest star is not showing up. He's the biggest star in the company. And he don't got no belt. Guys, why wasn't Roman Reigns able to get a rematch with Cody Rhodes for that belt? Gunther just lost his belt to Jey Uso. And now he's going to get a rematch at, I believe, SummerSlam. Why couldn't Roman Reigns get the same? It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. And this is because of Triple H, bro. Triple H has turned Roman Reigns into a jobber.